Hello folks, welcome. This is Homebrewing in Brazil. I'm Carlos Frederic, and today we are going to talk a bit about the early days of beer in Brazil. First of all, I'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, a much better year in 2021 for us all. Well, Brazil, where is it? We are the largest country in South America. As you can see, that's the under the red circle one. And Brazil was discovered in 1500s by Portugal. Occupied by them, we were part of the Portuguese crown as one of its possessions, and trade was most done with Portugal. Portugal is a country which has a huge wine culture. So in early days of Brazil, the beverage we have here were wine or distilled from sugarcane, which is named cachaça. Of course, the early inhabitants of Brazil had their own beverage, but as the colonial period started, it was mostly wine and cachaça. In 1624, Holland started a series of invasions to Brazilian shore. In fact, they even managed to take hold of Brazil capital. At the time it was at Salvador. They stayed there for 1 year until they were driven off by Portuguese and Brazilians army. And in 1627 there was another invasion until in 1630 Holland managed to take a hold of Recife, which is the capital of the states of Pernambuco in the northeast parts of Brazil, and there they managed to take hold of several other states and moving a bit into the interior of Brazil. And in 1637 there was a government appointed by the West India Company, WIC, named Mauritius of Nassau. He came to Brazil in 1637 and began a series of improvements in the city and the region to establish a stronger hold of Holland in Brazil. It was at the time named New Holland or Dutch Brazil. One of the facts is that in 1640 came a Dutchman named DIRCK. This Dutch was a brewer, and he came from a family of brewers. They had ownership of a brewery in the city of Haarlem, where he was born, and that's the brewer of his family, the headship. And DIRCK was a brewer himself. His father was quite an important man. He even became mayor at the time of the city of Haarlem. And as he came to Brazil, it is reported that he brought with him equipments to establish a brewery in Brazil. Sadly, there are very few documents from that times, and we don't have anyone that could actually place this brewery in Brazil. It is said that he started this production in 1641 in a house of Mauritius Nassau named FONTAINE. This brewery produces a strong beer made up of sugar and barley, and perhaps some wheat. And there is one of the few documents which can be a proof of the existence of this brewery is a map, a city map made by Cornelius Golagi, where he indicates the presumed location of this brewery. As you can see on the red circle, that's the location of the brewery and of a sugar plantation by the river. There is a small note on that map which says so. That's one of the few documents which we have about this production of beer in Brazil. So it would place the start of beer production in Brazil under the Dutch in 1641. Of course, in 1650 the Dutch are driven off from Brazil, so it ends the Dutch period in Brazil. Portugal gains control again of the full Brazilian territory, and beer production simply stops altogether. At least we don't have any documents which could prove that it continued. Of course, we may perhaps understand that there were some small productions here and there, but from there on it's mostly wine and cachaça. Until in 1808, the Portuguese royal family comes to Brazil, opens the Brazilian ports to trade with another countries, and so we began a strong trade with England, and British beer comes to Brazil, but that's about 150 years further in time. So that's it. Hope you stay safe and see you around. Bye bye.